Greetings everyone, please give me a moment to make sure everything's set on up. For those who are starting the live stream from the beginning, it might be a little bit of a shorter stream today. I just got my root canal done and I'm not exactly 100% right now. Get everything starting to boot on up, no problem. You turn the live chat windows and bring up my macros. Okay, live chat windows are online. Macros are online. Got a drink next to me. Couple drinks, and I think everything's good to go. So, let's go and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Sorry, I almost said Days of Ruin, because this map I've mostly seen used or played on Days of Ruin. Not sure if that's actually a map that's in base game, or maybe somebody just brought it over to Advanced Wars by Web since they like that. Oh, either way, spawn on the south side as the Pink Cosmos Sturm. We got Motimon. Spawn north side as the even blacker hole Hawk. We got Lovi. Was it Nor Eclipse? Yeah, I just call it even blacker hole because black hole is more of like a purplish grayish color. Nor Eclipse is supposed to be a black. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. This is a 3-base map, 1 airport, 2 seaports, but we probably won't see too much naval play. In Days of Ruin, there's some differences between this version and the Days of Ruin version. Well, Days of Ruin has much more usable ships, both battleships and aircraft carriers are usable. But I don't think battleships and aircraft carriers are probably feasible, though aircraft carriers do have a surge range, and there is some reefs here to help keep units hidden. Got a recon to reconnoiter the area. Additionally, there's only 2 cities here on 3 cities. There's a platform in between, no temporary seaports, and it feels like there's more roads in the Advanced Wars by Web version, so a lot of motorized play could be used. A decent number of forests here to station some rockets. We do actually have base cap up north by Hawk, tank infantry. To be fair, this base is pretty far away from anything, so it's not too infeasible to go for base skips on this map, since some like this base has a really bad pathing to get on out. Half the base would be a sea transport. Tank does get trapped on the recon there, and the recon probably should floor it and get on out of there. Probably this forest would be a good spot for us. Oh yeah, Sturm as well, perfect movement. So these recons can blitz around. Artillery double infantry. Somebody knows as well. The YouTube chat seems a little bit off. Refresh that. There we go. Or maybe the analytics page is now broken on YouTube. Can't say for sure. I've been having some issues with YouTube lately. Mostly just trying to view my videos like, oh, this seems nice, I want to watch it. Nope. Do have, of course, a tank here, push it forward, gets rest on top of the HQ, also known as a forest. Got a recon tank over here, recon over here. We do have a mech. Of course, Sturm mechs are actually pretty weak. Sturm mechs are not great. They already had, in nearly every situation, perfect movement. Now they just get perfect movement and lose 20% firepower. Mechs are more of offense, or more focused on their offensive capability than their defensive capability, so the extra defense is probably not super useful. Does enjoy the capture there, which does take a shot there, reveals itself. We have an E-tier here, T-copter up here. Recon... Wait, triple recon T-copter. Ugh. What is that? How many recons are on the field? Sturm only has 1 tank. While Hawk has 4, Sturm only has 1 tank and 5 recons. I suppose with Sturm it does make sense with perfect movement. The extra defense was quite useful here. Ooh, tank parked in a horrible position there. It will be shelled and shot, so likely be knocked out, but the reduced firepower is quite significant. Sturm did capture his comm tower before attacking, which is good. Shells, tanks, and machine guns does knock it out and start capturing that city there. Mech does take a shot there. Good shot. Battlecopter, infantry, and tank. We do have a medium tank up here. It's really hard to see Hawk's deployment since it's the even blacker hole. And like I said, not 100%. I got a bit of a lingering headache from the root canal from earlier today. Root canals are not fun. They're really, really not fun. Medium tank double infantry. Medium tank, that's supposed to be a lander for this side, so I was going to say maybe medium tank's a little bit too slow, particularly this spawn, but the lander there, it's perfectly fine. It'll be boosted down south, no problem. Recons reconnoitering. Black Belt resupplies the infantry by giving them a high 5. Rocket, recon, and infantry with the perfect movement. Able to get the front line pretty quickly. Though then again, there's already plenty of roads on this map, so it's not too terribly slow to begin with. Lander will help out though. Infantry pushing forward, trying to capture the comm tower. Hawk has not captured up his comm tower just yet, and he likely will not be able to. So he gets shelled, gets peppered up by recons. Does hit that infantry unit there. Hits this recon, and now going to get peppered up by artillery as well. Shells the recon there. This is going to be a good turn for certain next turn. The recon play is baiting the tanks into the artillery. I don't know if that was planned or not planned, but simply what has happened. Nothing to deal with this tank up north. We do have the battlecopter and now rocket migrating. Stays out of vision range of the tank. Double task that infantry unit there. Does shell this tank. It's that infantry unit twice. Right now we got 114 for 115, so Stern's about a full turn advantage, and that will increase with this turn. Interrupts the capture, of course. This medium tank has been spotted. The only thing that really can tangle with it is the artillery. Another rocket, anti-air, and infantry. Of course, as the two COs are really slow superpowers. Against if Hawk's health recovery from his power and superpower could be very useful when the meteor strike. So Hawk may want to eye for his power and superpower to be casted second, though getting some frontline healing before then it's not a bad idea, plus a global damage for momentum's not bad either. Does triple tap the infantry unit there. Trying to capture the comm tower for his own. Plenty of infantry nearby to interrupt. The artillery appears to be not spotted just yet. Of course, he is aware of its existence, as well as its crime of existing. Does hit that infantry unit there. We do have, of course, a black wave available. Nothing stopped this battlecopter. In fact, this is the first anti-air by Hawk. Yeah, turn 13 anti-air was probably not a great call. You generally want to go for, I've been told, you generally do not want to go for anti-air no later than turn 10. He then has his own battlecopters to be a good alternative. The extra defense did save the recon for a brief moment. Does stay out of range of the artillery. Battlecopter tank double infantry. Recon or rocket heading up north to the forest. Does show that tank there. The tank will need to fall back, but is currently in range of the rocket. Medium tank infantry. There are no shores here to drop off the medium tank. This is the closest shore. Another artillery advance to the forest. I don't think that was spotted. Stealth insertion. Rocket, anti-air, and infantry. How many rockets by Sturm? 3 rockets, even though it gets less firepower with them. Perfect movement, so nice for those rockets. Minimizing the aspect of the indirects are quite slow. This tank is now in range to be double tapped. Does hit this infantry unit thrice. Does hit this artillery there. However, this artillery is in range. My apologies for the leaflet out front. I, of course, live in an apartment, and the groundskeepers are keeping up with the grounds. Recon, medium tank, commits base skip, and battlecopter. Case of 1 health infantry. Anti-air in range. Yep, that anti-air will take out the battlecopter, which may give both players a superpower. Next turn, both players may pop a superpower. Shows the medium tank with the rocket. Got a pretty good long range hit there. 0 defense stars while at it. Shows that tank there. Takes out the tank there. Shows the regular tank and not the medium tank. Stops the capture. Right now, Sturm's at 28,000 for 23,000. So Sturm has a nice economy advantage. And ends the turn with... He saves some monies there because of Black Storm. And ends the turn with 168, add the 18 there, so it's basically 180 versus 130, so has about a nice 2-turn advantage. Goes up to 136 and down to 133, evening out the aspect. However, Sturm's superpower is right around the corner. Strikes that tank there, gets minimum range of the artillery piece. Meteor strike is available. You can always go with the meteorite strike. Tank, and infantry. Recon could be shelled by the rocket. Meteor strike, I'm not sure where to land. Maybe right here. Possibly... No, not right there. No, lander. It's going to strike and hit the tank. Lander costs the same as... It's 12,000, which is less than a medium tank. Battlecopter... Tank equals tank. 5,000 more than this. This is 4,000 more. So it'll likely strike right here. Nope. I was mistaken. I guess my offhand math was incorrect, like it normally is. Oh yeah, it has to strike a unit directly. So, if I remember correctly, if it still follows a cartridge counterpart, while Vombo can target the ground, Sturm has to strike a unit directly. Missile target an enemy with the greatest accumulation value. An enemy unit. So it will strike, has to strike a unit directly, so hit the recon directly. Hits a couple of those units there. Lots of rockets. We got the rockets. Pulls back on the artillery blob, or indirect blob, that will make a grid player proud. And with the money saved up, go for a big deployment of Neo Tank, a new tank, Recon, Battlecopter, and a infantry unit. Unit count is in favor of turn. 33 units versus 24. 160 versus 124. It looks like this turn's a bit passive for Clock. Neo tank double infantry as well. Shells the infantry unit twice. Recon or anti-air strikes battlecopter. Double taps it for severe overkill. Probably could have finished it off with an infantry unit. It's the shells the medium tank, nails the regular tank. Rockets straight forward. Not critical damage, but severe damage. Anti-air battlecopter, artillery, and infantry. Battlecopter hits the tank there. Two anti-airs get struck, takes out the anti-air entirely. There is a full health battlecopter here, nothing to contest with it. Battlecopter anti-air too far away. But there's a lot of ground targets here. The battlecopter is still one unit. If everything else disintegrates, then the battlecopter will have nothing else to support. It'll get good work done, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to be fantastic work. After all, we got two rockets in range. It looks like got artillery in range, and the Neo tank can roll up and strike that tank there as well. Interrupts the capture, interrupts the capture. Or fully stops it. 20,000 for 24,000 income. Still got a couple properties still just neutral, including this comm tower. Does not take out that tank there. Takes out. Oh, does not finish off that one. Takes out the tank there. Good number of these things have been put down to 1% health, seems like. Strikes the artillery. Does take out the tank there. Black Wave is available. One bit of global damage may not be half bad right now. After all, we got some severely wounded units here. 197 versus 130. Hawk is up on the back foot. Does pop the Black Wave. Bit of health restoration, bit of health damage. Captures city and resigns. Is Angrade saying, thank you for watching. Oh, and thank you for Multimon to submit the replay. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching. Have a good evening. Or, wrong outro. On to next replay. Blah. Let's see now. Jess versus Jake. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn bottom right side as the fire red Jess, we got Night Fury 42. Spawn top left side as the brown desert Jake, we got Woja, I think. No idea, it sounds like something that gets shouted in Age of Empires 2. So, let's get started. This is a 3-base map, one airport, or actually no, 2 airports, one comm tower, or 2 comm towers, blah. My mind's just melted right now. Something I gotta do is, before this game, is open up a drink up nearby. You can do it one-handed away from the microphone. We do have a T-Copter out now by Jake. Jess does have reduced firepower on her aircraft by 10%, which is not terrible, and one comm tower will even out, and there's 2 comm towers in the map. Jake, of course, does have some benefits for aircraft on the planes. Recon double infantry. T-Copter pushing infantry unit forward. Recon reconnoitering. tank double infantry. This infantry gone pretty far down south. Guess trying to get prepped for the winter or just trying to avoid it entirely. Infantry double tank. Tank infantry and recon. Infantry, tank, and APC. Oop, does get trapped. Here, tank and infantry. Recon getting some good reconnoitering done. Infantry, anti-air, and tank. Tank, double infantry, and battlecopter. So far, there's only been, what, one strike this entire game? So far, the game's been pretty quiet. Right now, 400 energy obtained versus 360 or 650. Blah, cannot speak. Ugh. Does strike that infantry unit there. Recon also gets good reconnoitering, and this black boat's running low on fuel. Of course, Jake has his APC to refuel the black boat. Jess does not have that. She'll have to pop her power to get it resupplied. All units get the resupply effect, not just ground vehicles. Good amount of infantry heading down south. Artillery advanced to the city and does take out the recon in one shot thanks to the 2 comm towers. Now, no planes benefit, but now Jess's artillery is in range. Of course, our Jess's artillery has plus 20% of firepower. She may not have the range of Grit, but she at least has the firepower of Grit. Takes out the tank there. Hits that tank twice as well. Hits this tank. This is some pretty big losses for Jake. Tank, and recon. Does strike the tank there. 3 health tank does not finish off the 1 health tank. The infantry unit will. It's that infantry unit there. Interrupts the capture before it even started. It's the recon twice and now thrice. Neo tank infantry. So Jake's gonna try to even out the game. He's took a bit more losses so far. But with the Neo tank, he's going to try to swing favor back in towards him. Both these players will have +2 movement range when it comes to their superpower for their ground vehicles. But their key difference is their power. Just has a far more usable power than Jake. Jake is only really used for the +1 indirect range, which is very difficult to get value out of. Unless you Grit, because you get that as passive. Infantry, tank, and battlecopter. Does strike the infantry unit twice. Does hit the recon there. Jake has superpower. Not sure he's going to pop it. He is not very far forward with his force. Plus movement range would be very nice, but there's nothing much here to smash into. So this is not a good turn for a superpower, to say the least, I would say. He needs more forces to engage his opponent's army. Jess has now her superpower available, which honestly is a bit more stronger than Jake's. Plus 40% firepower from planes is nice, but plus 40% firepower for all ground vehicles is far more usable. Recon, infantry, battlecopter, and tank. Does strike the recon, hits that infantry unit. Artillery, tank, and infantry. Tank does strike tank. No superpower. I think as well, if Jake pushes too far forward over here, he can get ambushed by Jess's superpower. Black boat down to 11 fuel, but it will be resupplied by Jess's superpower and or power. Jess can always go for a power, 2 powers in a row for a 1-2 punch. Tank, battlecopter, recon, and infantry. Neo tank, double infantry. So now both players have a Neo tank on the field. Right now the value is quite even as well, 154 versus 153. Of course, Jake still has his day-to-day income, so he does have about a turn advantage. And unit count is favored for him as well. Tank, infantry, recon, and battlecopter. And here comes a turbocharge, plus 1 movement range, plus 20% firepower on ground vehicles. Let's see how well it goes. Capture up the city, blitzes the infantry, blitzes the tank, shells the infantry unit there, blitzes the tank, hits the infantry unit, stopping the capture entirely, takes a battlecopter. Battlecopter hits battlecopter. Doesn't get any firepower bonuses other than plus 10 plus 10 for atomic power or superpower. Tank hits tank. And Jake is taking some pretty severe losses, seems like. This southern flank is basically smashed. Northern flank has some units in reserve, but Jake lost quite a bit, 156 versus 122. Let's see how well his superpower will go. He may not go for it. Goes for it. Tank blitzes on the back, pulls back, pulls back. Neo tank shells, regular tank there, plus 40% firepower. Battlecopter trace infantry unit there. Takes out the battlecopter 1 strike, hits the anti-air, does not finish off 1 strike, takes 6 plus 10% defense. Anti-air, battlecopter, tank, and infantry. Not super great superpower, and just can follow up with another power. Anti-air is in range of battlecopter, so that's easy to take out. She can now pop her power again. Medium tank, infantry. Drake right now also has 24,000 income versus 20. Does strafe that tank there, takes out a tank, stops the capture. 2 cities, same side, or same symmetrical position, still despicably neutral. tank, battlecopter, artillery, and infantry. Scout tank there. Both Neo tanks inside of fours. Battlecopter, double, triple infantry. Unusual deployment by Jess. Now Jake has 5 battlecopters in the field. Let's see, what, 3, 4. All 5 of them are at full health. Jess right now has 3. Strafes that artillery, takes out the capturing infantry unit there. Interrupts this capture as well. Battlecopter hits battlecopter hits battlecopter. Could be hit by a 4 health ATR. Do you have another turbocharge and overdrive available for Jess? It nails that tank twice and put the 5 health tank on top of the city. Very nice. Infantry, recon, tank, and battlecopter. Jess may pop a superpower. Well, we'll take out one of the battlecopters. Overall, doesn't seem like a good turn for superpower. Yeah, it's not a good turn for superpower in my opinion. Let's go for regular power. It's close one range there to hit the battlecopter. Takes a recon, nails the battlecopter twice, and now thrice. Anti-air, infantry, and tank. Hits the recon twice. Oop, recon finds a black boat. Black boat's course on full fuel thanks to the power of Jess. Does it the anti-air. Neo tank is in range of the Neo tank with power. Jake's course will be in range with superpower. I think T-Copter should end his turn from the Neo tank because the chance of it just protecting the Neo tank from a first strike, but it is now vulnerable. Just needs a bit of a spotter and a bit of power charge. Nope, will not be in range of each other now. Battlecopter, double recon, and infantry. Does spot this medium tank. Take it on with a superpower Neo tank from the planes wouldn't be half bad. Trace both of those tanks there. Bomber, tank, double infantry. Anti-air with a power will be in range of one of those battlecopters. Power has been summoned. Does manage to flip a city. Anti-air takes out battlecopter. Takes out the capturing squad. Takes out the infantry in there. Shells the regular tank. Now the Neo tank's in range of the Neo tank, and battlecopter's gonna soften up first. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. It feels like Jake's gonna have a really good superpower next turn. This medium tank's also going to be vulnerable to some battlecopter strafes as well from the planes. Strafe it from this plane here, then maybe this regular tank can hit it from this plane here. I think Jake's going to have a good turn next turn. Right now it's 151 versus 155. Pops superpower. Shows the tank. Takes out the tank. Hits the anti-air. Helicopter migrated up north. Anti-air strikes battlecopter. Boosted strike from the Neo tank from the Neo tank. Hits that medium tank there. Hits the regular tank there. Infantry, battlecopter, infantry, and tank. Capture up the city. Shells the recon. Not enough power charge for power or superpower. New tank falls back into open shores. Does block of infantry there. Recon, tank, battlecopter, and infantry. Recon spots the Neo tank. Neo tank is on next to a shore tile, so it's going to be struck by the Neo tank. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. Battlecopter does not strike the medium tank. Strikes regular tank, hits the medium tank. Regular tank hits the medium tank. Neo tank just falls back to the city. Doesn't want to die to the opponent's Neo tank. Bomber advancing. Infantry, Neo tank infantry. Right now, Jess seems like she's low on ATers. Yep, that's the only ATR in the field and is at 1 health. So this bomber has pretty much free reign. Of course, Jake does not know that. Of course, we have caster vision. Pops the power. I wonder, yep. ATR's, even the wounded ATR is out of range. Tracks that regular tank there. Stacks itself on the battlecopter. ATR tank and tank. The stick of the battlecopter. Neo tank hits Neo tank. Nukes the recon of the bomber. ATR tank and tank. Jake's at 168 versus 83, so Jake seems like he has the game in the bag. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. Does strike the tank there. Anti-air double tank. Jake has another superpower available. Bomber, of course, out of range of the anti-air. Neo tank, however, is not. So there is, of course, some stuff in the way, like a forest of a tank lurking inside. Tank, anti-air, and tank. This infantry there interrupts the capture. Both those progress, 6 capture progress remaining, 1 capture progress remaining. It's the infantry unit there, does not take on the battlecopter. Infantry, tank, and battlecopter. It's a recon, tank hits tank. Fully stops that capture. ATR does go down. There's probably going to be a good superpower turn for Jake. Battlecopter recon tank. Pops superpower after getting some vision. Hits a battlecopter. Hits the tank there. Hits the anti-air, nails the regular tank there, though does drive in range of the artillery. That said, artillery gets one-shotted. Tank, double recon, battlecopter. It seems like Jess's game is pretty much over. She's down to half value opposed to Jake's. Of course, she's pretty close. Does pop her full superpower, Jess overdrive. Tank does hit tank. Tank, recon, infantry, and battlecopter. Tank and tank and tank. Infantry, and medium tank. Battlecopter, recon, APC. Bomber's down to 30 fuel. Recon does get trapped on the recon. Interrupts the capture, strikes a tank twice. APC is more or less trapped now. Medium tank, recon, and infantry. Does hit the tank there. Infantry T-copter. A-tier tank and T-copter of infantry. Medium tank does get a first strike on the Neo tank and does resign. This is Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to next replay. How did this match up to this? As a replay I sort of want to cover. Here we go. A Sonya game. Greetings everyone, Angrade here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn bottom right side as the orange red fire Sonya. We got Bandit Marks. Spawn top left side as the Jade Sun Andy. We got Zappy C7. So let's get started. Of course, early infantry game. This is a 3-base map, 2 airports, 2 comm towers, lots of roads. Tank double infantry. Double infantry and tank. Of course, Sonya does get +1 vision range for her units, and also gets additional 10% minus luck, which is not great, so 10% bad luck, more precisely put. If I remember correctly, on the cartridges, you roll both luck and bad luck at the same time. So it's not like it extends the range, but more just it adds the 2 lucks together, which nullify each other. Recon and artillery. Of course, Andy has no day-to-day, and I don't know how effective his repair powers would be against Sonya. He's more of an anti-global damage CO, but he might be one eye for more superpower this game. Pull back wounded units, get them repaired up with 1 big repair, and then push them forward with +1 range, 10% firepower. Infantry, mech, and tank. Oh yeah, the question mark health is going to be a pain in the butt for me, since I'm not paying close enough attention or keeping a good memory of all the health. So a lot of questionable health per se. Like that one, like this unit right here, it appears to be 0. Tank does get strafed by a battlecopter. A-tier is a bit delayed, and battlecopter as well. So Sonya's battlecopter can get some good strafing runs. Or helicopters, is it still considered sorties, like an aircraft mission, or no? Infantry, tank, and recon. Does interrupt this capture. Howdy. Cooking my legendary chicken soup I'll listen. Interesting. No, I was never really a big fan of chicken soups in general. I like some occasional stews, but honestly I'm not a big fan of soups. Just give me the pieces whole and not watery. Infantry, 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 and battlecopter. And battlecopter got a quintuple deployment. Does stop the capture there. Graves to hit this one there. I don't know how much health it has. I can see question mark health. Battlecopter, infantry, infantry, and anti-air. 1 health. Does take out the infantry unit there. I think as well, this 1 health infantry now lurking the woods. He has lost sight of it, and it may pop up at a random point, and he has no idea how much health it has. It's not necessarily the units that you're going to kill that you can have trouble taking out because you forget what the health is. It's the units that fall back and then reappear, you have no idea what the health is. Trace this infantry unit twice on the mountain side, does pick it off there. We do have a battlecopter nearby, as well as an artillery now lurking in the woods. Does strafe that infantry unit there. Getting good number of hits there. Those anti-airs can pick off one of these battlecopters, no problem. T-copter down 28 or 29 fuel. Black boat down 13. Trace this tank twice. It's still alive, of course. Probably at 5 health. Those 2 compounds, maybe 4. Does get the mech on top of the mountain side. Takes out that mech as well. We do have now enhanced vision, which can occasionally be nice, help reveal the hiding spots. But it's mostly... Sonya has a very good superpower in the form of counter break, which is most comparably to Hawk's lightning strike, because it doesn't give her a double turn, it just makes it so she strikes first, like if it was her turn. So attacking her during your turn while that's active is ill-advised. And while the questionable health, you have no idea what the health is with some of these units. That'll strike the artillery piece there. Hits the anti-air as well. Counter break is available. She can actually pop this at the end and the middle of the turn because the counter break is a counterattack tool. It doesn't really matter when you pop it. She does pop it now. Andy does have his superpower, so we just gotta take a quick look at how much health his units have left. He's best to kill off all of Andy units and not let them retreat. Right now, Andy does not have a lot of critically wounded units. Just 6 health and 6 health, 3 health infantry units. So it might be worth only going for power unless you want the extra range and firepower. Movement range. Right now, Andy's at 99,000 with the State of the Day Fund, so effectively 125 versus 141. And Sony does have 38 units, so she's doing quite well on her unit count as well. But the thing is, well, counter break is up. It's also just not a good idea for Andy to attack unless it's attacking infantry. You see here that Battlecopter did 3 points of damage. It didn't. This Battlecopter managed to live and put this down to 5 health. This is probably close to 2 health, 3 health, I would say. Tank to oh, yeah, counter break's pretty good. Sonya, she's bottom tier CO, but counter break is still a very good god power. I have no idea what the hell to say it here is. The infantry unit, so this anti-air is still alive and has been attacked not twice but thrice. And still got a fair amount of damage. I think it's like a 5 health? No, 4 health. She does also have a passive plus 50% increased counterattack damage. Oh, it's down to 1 health. still, that thing is staying hung on, to say the least. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. Trace the tank. Gotta make sure to finish these units off. He's fighting against Andy. Andy has a superpower available. Okay, so the anti-air. Goes to this 5 health anti-air. Will get a full recovery next turn. Recon does get trapped. And things about this infantry unit is at 3 health. Does Andy know how much health it has? He probably doesn't. He's probably gonna take a shot against one of the units on the this planes unit because it has the lowest amount of defense. And since it's Global League, her question mark health is a bit more usable in Global League rather than say Live League, because I don't know if these players will remember the health of certain units after a day has passed. Does get a nice health recovery there, goes from 93 to 103. The 10,000 health recovery gets plus movement range, plus 10% firepower on all units, including infantry units. Does take out the anti-air. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. Does manage to one-shot it. Recon hits 9 health infantry on the road. Takes out the battlecopter as well. Pretty good turn for AD. We do have a health unit value for Sonya. Wasn't that also the name of a character, one of the Manikites from Fire Emblem Awakening? Nah. Because that was supposed to be a joke of a name. Let's take out the infantry unit there. Battlecopter strikes the tank. Tank goes down. Tank hits anti-air. Battlecopter gets strafed twice. Not tank. Tank hits strafed thrice. Tank is now very holy, full of holes. Battlecopter, mech, infantry, and tank. We do, of course, have a counter break almost available. It'll probably be popped next turn. 2 battlecopters gone down. Interrupts a capture, I think. Tank, battlecopter, infantry, and recon. Indiana's turn of 122 versus Sonya's 107. So about a half turn behind. But here comes a counter break. 27 units versus 30 units. So Andy has a slight advantage there as well. Neotank nukes the anti-air. She does have 2 battlecopters left in the sky, ruffling about. Tank does strike tank, tank does strike tank, tank does strike recon. Andy closest to his power, but don't see enough value to gain to warrant it. Mech, anti-air, infantry, and battlecopter. Remember, counter break. Infantry unit will get the first strike, does not get enough damage though. Yep, and Andy's 4-speed defensive this turn, though to be fair, it doesn't feel like he has too much in the front line. It feels like Sonya's in a pretty good position right now. The value is pretty similar at the moment, 119 versus 121. But yeah, it feels like Sonya's in a better position. Yeah, Andy's triple tanks back there. A lot of teams are just in the back line. It feels like, let's see, Sonya has 5 tanks. Andy does have 4 battlecopters, 3 battlecopters. Does capture the city. Now both players are at 23,000 income. Battlecopter, battlecopter, infantry, infantry, and recon. So let's look at the battlecopter there. Does take out the infantry unit there. Battlecopter takes on the battlecopter. Battlecopter does strike the battlecopter, strafes the battlecopter with the Neo tank. 1 health infantry in the forest. Who knows how much health it actually has, according to Andy. Infantry, anti-air, battlecopter, and infantry. Black belt down to 19 fuel. This black belt's at 43 fuel, but will be resupplied next turn. Battlecopter, infantry, recon. Andy now has a Neo tank push way forward. Andy Neo tanks can be incredibly scary because of longevity. It's not necessarily easy to take out one shot, and his superpower is available, so he can be a bit more reckless with his Neo tank. Decent number of mechs up here. Mech, recon, artillery, and battlecopter. Spots the question mark infantry health. Does take the question mark infantry health there. Hits the mech, takes out that mech. Takes out this mech there. We do have another mech lurking in the woods. Ends his turn of 157 versus 165, so it's slightly behind, but his superpower is primed and ready. Sonya's power is getting pretty close as well. Tank does strike tank. She could pop her superpower this turn. Does pop it immediately upon acquiring it. Neo tank, push forward tank. Both Andy and Sonya can be incredibly aggressive with their Neo tanks on the turns of their superpower. Andy, of course, can get his units for health recovered, and Sonya could just simply charge forward and get the first strike and nuke everything before it can shoot off. Infantry, and tank. Battlecopter. Makes me wonder if Sonya's actually pretty good with medium tanks. If she can get good counter breaks, maybe a wave of medium tanks would be pretty good, because it'd be difficult to displace all of them. Does take on the battlecopter, does get wounded by said battlecopter. Does take out the battlecopter there, so it must have been down to minimal health, and the infantry unit didn't take any damage in return. Takes out the mech there, it got a point of damage onto the Neo tank. This Neo tank is bait. I don't think Sonya can take this Neo tank out in one shot. Yeah, it's actually probably a good idea not for Neo tank. Should just withdraw from this region, but it's actually currently trapped at the moment. Sonya will need to clear out this infantry unit here. 7 health infantry unit. 3 health. Battlecopter maybe need to use a sack and take out this infantry there, because I think this Neo tank should just outright run this turn. Oh, clearing through the recon's not a bad idea. Neo tank does run, very good. Because I think could recover up to 7 health next turn with the superpower in Itanbian City. I just did not see any way for that Neo tank to be taken out in one shot. You now have a bomber to counter the medium tank. Bomber with Sonya's counter breaks also really devastating, because the standard counter of anti-air is just simply not feasible. Mech and double infantry as well. Another Neo tank. Bomber was definitely a good call. Neo tank infantry and infantry. Mech nukes the anti-air. Black boat has a pair of infantry load up on in. Neo tank parks itself on top of the forest. Bomber advancing. It wants to hit that Neotank. It's the safest option. And this Antier, it's wounded, but that means nothing because it's Andy. It can be up to 9 health next turn with the superpower. She's also pretty far away from a counter break. And right now, the next counter break costs 72,000 in total. Which actually is more expensive than the Hyper upgrade, even if it's a star less. Mech is getting low on ammo and probably health as well. Battlecopter, infantry, tank, and infantry. The Antier is spotted. The Neotank can be double tapped this turn with the Neotank and Bomber nearby. Strike for the Bomber first, then for the Neotank, then find something to hit that Antier, which I don't think anything can. So it might be a sacking of a Bomber to take out that Neotank. Would a Bomber plus Battlecopter be enough to take on that Neotank? Maybe sack the mech into it, just soften up a little bit. Gets a good hit there. Neotank's going in. You might be able to save the Bomber by surrounding the Bomber. Because question mark health units. That Bomber will be struck by a boosted Antier next turn. Recon, Antier, and mech. So I think that Bomber's going to be one-shotted this turn. Yep. But the Neotank's still lurking about. Battlecopter strikes Battlecopter. Hits the Neotank. It was on top of an open road. Neotank gets hit twice. Oh, and Andy outright resigned. I'm actually sort of surprised about that. What was his value beforehand? Okay, Sonya had a value of 218 versus 144. And with the repair, it's gotta be a fair amount of damage done, honestly. The value could have been even at that point, as I really cannot tell because of the gnaw. Yeah, it might have been a bit premature for Andy. By the way, this is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to next replay. We'll have time for one last replay tonight. We do this one. Already did an Andy. Oh, is this a game that I should have ever did not bookmarked? It's either this one, Von Bolt versus Hawk. Already did a Hawk game. Yeah, let's do this one, Olaf versus Von Bolt, since these are two different COs I've not casted today. So, let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn on top right side as the Blue Moon Von Bolt. We got Spiel Hades. Spawn on top bottom left side as a Purple Lightning Olaf. We got Low Elo Nobody. So, let's go and get started. This is a 3-base map, 1 airport, technically 3 seaports, and also pair of comm towers that are contestable, but generally favored for 1 player. The blue water ships can reach all the way around to these backline port or bases, but I don't think that's going to be... I don't think I've ever seen that happen. Not even for gunboats, black boats, or landers. Early recon for Von Bolt. Olaf has 6,000 funds, can go for recon this turn as well. Tank double infantry. Oh, wait, I forgot the money is stored up as well. Triple infantry there, so Von Bolt will have 10,000 funds next turn. Olaf only has 6,000 funds, so recon on double infantry maybe. Just triple infantry. Tank double. Excuse me. Tank double infantry. Does capture up the seaport right there. And we do now have a tank double infantry as well. And that's some funds. T-Copter double infantry commits a base skip with 3,000 funds in the bank. The next turn you have 14,000 funds, so maybe going for Battlecopter? Triple infantry, that would be 12,000, so I'm not sure why he kept 3,000 in the bank. Recon spots the tank, of course, again. Recon's course hidden. Well, a good idea just to keep it hidden for now. Tank infantry recon with 2,000 funds in the bank, so he could not have base skipped last turn. Does spot the recon. Recon gets shot up quite a bit. Battlecopter triple infantry. Von Bolt has 15,000 monies this turn. Tank, and infantry. Tank does find the tank. Von Bolt's tank scores at +10/+10, as opposed to +30% defense here from +10% defense. The +10/+20 versus +0/+30. If assume he throws that on in. Tank infantry T-Copter commits a base skip, full spend. Lots of capture. Capture the column tower first. Tank has +20/+20 versus +0/+30. Does spot that tank there. Anti-air recon infantry. Does strike that tank. Strafes 2 infantry units there, interrupt 2 captures. Anti-air, and infantry. Does strafe the infantry on the road, as there as well. Takes up both units on the road. Sacks the 1 health infantry unit there. Tank does strike tank. Does spot the battlecopter, so we do have 2 battlecopters pretty far forward, 2 anti-airs in reserve. Battlecopters are perfectly fine to fight against battlecopters. However, Von Bolt's anti-air is pretty far behind. He has no battlecopters in the field. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, and infantry. Does take out the tank there. Battlecopter, tank, and double infantry. Tank does strike the tank. Does hit the infantry unit there. It takes out more infantry units. Triple tanks. Tank does hit the recon. Hits the infantry unit there and there. Interrupts the capture on the seaport. Takes on the tank there as well. Anti-air will be a good shot on that battlecopter. More battlecopters and anti-airs heading up north, so this anti-air needs to stay alive. Does get out that battlecopter there, hits the infantry unit there on the top of the comm tower, does take it out, spots the anti-air and battlecopter there, but does not spot any threat to the anti-air. Battlecopter, anti-air, recon, and infantry. Von Bolt, or not Von Bolt, Olaf's getting pretty close to his Winter Fury. Ex Machina is halfway charged on up. Or a little bit over than half, good enough. Does strike the recon, hits the not capturing infantry unit there, takes the recon there. Tank, tank, and tank. Battlecopter here, ready to ambush any unit that gets on top of the city, but this T-copter is pretty far away. Actually, no, it's not. Be loaded up and dropped off, and then die. And now that infantry unit shall die. You could go fly around, take on the battlecopter first, because he still has an extra turn to take on that infantry unit since it's not started capturing. Triple tanks. Go straight for the infantry unit there, which is not a bad option. Takes out that unit there. Tank does hit the infantry unit there. There's 5 capture progress remaining there, so those 4 infantry units can be sacked to interrupt the capture of the extra turn. Tank, tank, and tank. Olaf's going for a healthy number of tanks, up to 9 tanks versus just 9 tanks. We do now have Winter Fury available. So the anti-air interrupts the capture. Hits that anti-air there, takes out the 6 infantry there, gives a good strike there. So Winter Fury can be summoned next turn. Goes for a full spend, so it's going to take some extra damage from Winter Fury. Ends turn of 142 versus 90, so pretty good advantage. 112 versus 90, so decent advantage. Battlecopter hits battlecopter. Remember as well, aircraft move half speed, so that 8 health battlecopter is going to have trouble running away, though the anti-air will be able to get a good strike on that battlecopter. Oh, does get trapped there. Does get trapped there. Ex Machina's likely going to pop out next turn. It will likely strike right here. No, it will likely strike... No. Yeah, it will likely strike right here. No, or right... Yeah, probably right here. Of course, the turn still gets popped. I am not sure where. Not right there. This is clearly more valuable than that. But that did not get struck there as well. So must have struck right here. Tank for tank. Battlecopter. No, that would not overcome it. So I have no idea where it actually landed. I guess we'll have to wait till next turn. Because right here I see this is 5, 7 versus 7. So that would be equal. Battlecopter is 9,000. This is 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have no idea where the Ex Machina actually landed. And battlecopter and tank here is equal to battlecopter and tank plus all the infantry nearby. So yeah, I have no idea where the Ex Machina landed. Oh, it struck this infantry unit there, so it struck right here. Got it. Tank strikes tank. 1 health infantry does take out the 1 health infantry. Just anti-air, right? Because there's nothing else you could have spawned on the other bases. Von Bolts has a pretty good advantage. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. having the 4 health infantry unit recover health on top of the city there is actually probably not worth it, although by the time he picks it up, he probably will be at full health. Battlecopter, double infantry, and anti-air. Tank does strike the tank. A blizzard is available, which can help snare his opponent's aircraft. Battlecopter, double tank, and infantry. Battlecopter does strike a tank. Does drop off infantry unit there. He's at that one. Battlecopter will finish off Battlecopter. Nice clean sweep down south. There's nothing to stop these Battlecopters. Anti-air and Battlecopter's too far away, and not to mention anti-air is here, so the Battlecopter won't do much as well. Up north, we do have a number of wound tanks up here for Von Bullet. Olaf has more tanks, but they're also wounded, but healthier. Tank, and infantry. Anti-air. And tank. Oop, and there's the black boat gets trapped onto the T-copter. Don't know if that means much. Tank does strike. Tank hits twice. Tank gets hit once. Does spot this anti-air. Black boat mainly built up here. Medium tank. And commits double base skip. Does take out one battlecopter, but the anti-air will be knocked out, and this battlecopter as well. Got this 8 health anti-air nearby. Does strike the black boat up north, which will drain some funds, but that's about it. Triple tanks. Capture city. Von bolts up to 26 versus 24. We have now another Winter Fury available. APC. Recon. Keeping 4,800 funds in the bank. Right now it's 176 versus 120. No Winter Fury yet? I think that could have finished off the anti-air. Pops the Winter Fury a little bit late. Von Boat's down 133. Anti-air, double infantry, and battlecopter. Anti-air takes up battlecopter. Tank hits tank. Battlecopter hits tank. You could join these two battlecopters together. One's getting pretty low on fuel. Ex Machina is now available. Where it land? I think it will land. Could land right there again. No, likely land right here. Which that would be fantastic for Von Bolt. Lock down this flank. It strikes the battlecopter, so landed right here. This X here shows them that there are stuff that's nearby, likely right here, that are now locked down. Joins those battlecopters together. Medium tank, double infantry. Battlecopter, double tank, and infantry. One elf anti-air can still be a bit of a roadblock. Does hit this anti-air twice. Does not decide to trap this black boat in that inlet. Nope, but it still is because the tanks. Does not take a shot against that black boat. Does take out the battlecopter there. 2 elf tank is reconning. Neo-tank, double infantry. Neo-tank, infantry. Does get a good shot there against that tank. Hits the anti-air, hits the tank there. Does get trapped. Oh, fighter. He's expecting a bomber. Triple infantry. That fighter, with our caster vision, we can tell that's not a good spend. There's 2 battle cops in the field, 1 T-copter. So yeah, the fighter was definitely the wrong call. Let's get some good strikes up here. Battlecopter, double recon, and infantry. Try and capture the comm tower now. It can easily be interrupted by a battlecopter and by a battlecopter only. Of course, if it does, it will sack it on a nearby anti-air. Another Winter Fury is almost available. T-copter, double tank, and infantry. Trace that infantry unit, putting it down to half health, which can be joined captured. Feels like this game's going pretty well for Von Bolt. Infantry, Neo-tank infantry. 40 units versus 24 units, 192 versus 143, with before is the day spending, so he's basically at 100 and 220. Is the battlecopter there. Join captures. This can be fully stopped. Got this battlecopter and infantry unit there. Of course, he'll be sacking another battlecopter to do that. Tank, and infantry. Does hit the infantry unit there. Does not hit the recon. Does the recon twice now. Battlecopter sacked itself in the anti-air. Get the Winter Fury. He's getting very desperate if he's doing that. Does interrupt the capture. Nothing nearby to join capture. Another Neo-tank, double infantry. Von Bolt's down 177, so he's doing just fine. Now he's going to dogpile around the infantry unit there. Recon cannot circumvent, so that comm tower will be captured next turn. This comm tower is not being threatened by any infantry units. Infantry, recon, and battlecopter. Trying to capture that city now. Von Bolt's 26,000 versus 25,000. The key city difference right now. Does take out that unit there. Right here, this city is still despicably neutral. Anti-air, and tank. Ex-Machina would like to strike this Neo-tank directly at the current rate. Or hit this stuff down here. Ex-Machina is close, but I don't think it's able to deploy it out this turn. And the comm tower has been captured. With that fighter in the field that Olaf does know about, he should not be going for any bombers, battlecopter, anti-air, and double infantry. Olaf does have 3 Neo-tanks in the field, but he's down 204,000 versus 130. And Ex Machina is almost available. Oh, Recon does get trapped. Neotink strikes Neotink. Ex Machina is now available. It will strike this infantry unit directly, locking down both of those Neotanks. Yep, it's probably going to be game over after Von Bolt's turn. Ooh, also hit a good number of stuff in the rear, like this tank there. That is one of the most crippling Ex Machinas I've seen in standard in Fog of War, and probably standard funds in general. Medium tank does not take out the Neotank, almost did. This Neotank's actually not. No, it is spotted. This tank is in vision range. Medium tank strikes that Neotank as well. It does take out that Neotank there. This Neotank will be at 5 health, but of course be force weighted next turn. Anti-air, anti-air, and anti-air. We do have now Winter Fury available. 200,000 gets called down to 152, doing 25% damage. Couple captures there, putting them both at 26 properties. The neutral properties no longer neutral. And Olaf does resign. The sand grade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay for today.